Hey, Brian Manning here. Welcome to another practice edition of the Garden Report. And not so much a practice update here as much as wanting to comment and follow up on some comments post-game about Robert Williams' night. Robert Williams, obviously one of the standout performers in Game 3, his plus 21 in that fourth quarter, getting out, being disruptive, stealing passes, and breaking up the pick and roll action that the Warriors were trying to run, instrumental to Boston's 116-100 run, 116-100 win in Game 3. But the question in this series, along with Curry's health, which we talked about in our last video, Williams' health, which has swung the series back and forth as much as anything else so far. His performance in Game 1, closer to his Game 3 performance, and they win both those games. Game 2, nearly unplayable, and as he laughed about last night, the Warriors saying that he can't move in that Game 2 loss to Golden State, where they're attacking him and effectively taking him out of the game early in that third quarter in that game. Ime, Rob himself, as well as Marcus Smart, talked about Rob's health and what he's dealing with, how he's been able to push through pain, and what he's effectively risking by being out here. Now, the story all along has been swelling, normal following surgery, this meniscus surgery that he underwent in March. Combination of that, the propensity to be more prone to bruising in the knee after, and the blow that he took from Giannis Antetokounmpo in round 2, all coming together to create this combination of restricted movement, swelling, pain that's hampered him at spots throughout this series. Day to day, not practicing, not shooting around. You saw him out here stretching, getting some free throws up, but mostly staying off his feet on the off days between games. And then the Celtics ramp him up prior to the game to see if he's going to be ready to go. He usually has a good feeling of what he's going to need, and they adjust from there. And he's only missed one game since the Eastern Conference Finals got going, after missing 4 against the Bucks. So Marcus, talking about Rob playing through pain, had this to say after the game last night.
I'm constantly talking to Rob, just from the simple fact that, I know what he's going through. He's hurting, and even though he's hurting, he still want to get out and help his team. But at the same time, he's thinking about his career. And like I just told him, you know your body, you know what you can withstand and what you can't. But just know we got a chance to do something special. And, there's no guarantees that we'll be back here. So, if you can go, we'll take 20% of you, then better than none of you. And he understood that. And, he decided to go out there and put his big boy pants on and suck it up and going crazy.
So Rob himself said that the Celtics are going to address anything long-term that needs to be done in terms of treatment once this playoff run is over. Ime, Smart, all talking about the fact that you might not be back at this point. So just being out there, being any percentage of himself is helpful to this team right now. And Ime has praised him at numerous points throughout this playoff run for playing through pain. Did say it's more mental than physical, but you wonder what's on Rob's mind right now. Medically, it seems like there isn't risk to being out here playing and pushing through as he is right now. But is that on his mind? Is that hampering him at certain points right now? It feels like the Celtics have to be on him constantly, telling him to push through, telling him to fight through that pain and be more of the Rob that we're used to at his best out there. And is it bad days where he's just overcome and succumbing to the pain and issues that he's having out there that are creating some of his worst off nights? Is it a need to rise above and be better than he's been at certain points right here? It's always hard to keep track of just how hurt a guy is, whether he'd be out there. Someone actually asked Steph Curry if he'd be out during the regular season and if he had his injury right now, and he was pretty confused about that one. But everybody's playing through pain this time of year. Marcus Smart himself going through ankle, foot, and quad ailments, and is used to playing through stuff himself. I liked how he's talking Rob through this right now, because is it a trust issue? Is he feeling like he's putting himself at risk, Rob that is, by being out there right now? Are the Celtics who have been through that assuring him that, there is some risk to being out there through injury always, but they feel good about him being out there medically? That seems like what's gotten him back to this point where he's looking like himself again in these NBA Finals. That assurance from teammates, from the coaching staff that he can push through and he's capable of more than he's actually given the Celtics right now. I think it was described as by Smart there as putting his big boy pants on and going out there and being Rob, which is the matchup breaker in this series. I did say on TikTok for CLNS Media, Rob being Rob is a matchup that the Warriors don't have an answer for, and all that offensive rebounding there in the fourth quarter, the greatest example of it. Which way does the seesaw swing, though, for Rob? Is it another case with one day off in between games now where he's looking like the less effective version of himself and they got to go back to Horford and small ball and shake up these lineups again? These are the factors that could really swing this series as much as it's been in Boston's favor so far, and push the 7 potentially. And you don't feel good as these games and minutes start to rack up. 30 for Rob for the first time. Ime saying early in the series they deal with the consequences if he had to push toward that number, and now he has. So along with Curry's health, Rob's health still top of the board among topics in this series. Celtics continuing their push for 18 with a 2-1 lead entering Game 4 here at TD Garden. Another 9 o'clock tip. We'll have all the coverage on Celtics All Access CLNS Media. And, of course, we're brought to you by HelloFresh. HelloFresh.com/playoff16 for 16 free meals. 3 free gifts when you get started over there. I'm Bobby Manning for the Garden Report for CLNS Media. Thanks for watching.